You just have to laugh, guys. At this point, you just have to laugh. It's interesting timing, but for the fourth time in a row, you can put it in the win column. Good guys win 3-2 in a shootout over the LA Kings. And it's the new guys and it's the kids. And you just have to laugh. Let's enjoy it, folks. Let's be real. I was at this game and it was a bit of a throwback. Other than the shootout being in there, a lot of the game, this felt like a game that was from 1997. In a 65-minute game, the total shots were 25-23. And that's not to say either goalie was bad. Dustin Wolf was the first star in the building. And he made some fantastic saves. But there were long stretches of this game where not much really happened, and a lot of that has to do with the LA Kings being the most boringly structured team in the NHL. And that's an NHL that includes the Flames, who are not exactly known for their offense. By far the best King on the night was Quinn Byfield. He had his legs going all night, and 2:35 into the game, he gets behind the Flames defense, the puck gets by Brustevich, and he beats Dustin Wolf 5-0 on the breakaway, and the Kings take an early lead. But literally seconds later, Zane Parekh makes a move around a defender and almost gets a goal. His game's really building, and it built within this game. More on him later. But after that, Blake Coleman gets another great chance, and Darcy Kemper was actually really good for the next several minutes after the Kings took the lead, because the Flames were coming a bit. And then the game started flowing the other way. It was a game of momentum shift. But not necessarily drastic momentum shifts. With 5:29 to go in the second period, the shots were 12-10 for Los Angeles. 12-10, more than halfway through the game. Fortunately, if you're hoping for the Flames to win, as you are if you're in the building, even if you understand the draft implications, it is the whole raft of new guys. It's Strome getting it over to Olofsson, who gets it across to Olimane, who gets a shot off, even though he's being closed down. And Kemper just loses track a bit. It's a good play by the Flames, not necessarily a great one, but it's a tie game. After the Flames tie it, the Kings have their most dominant stretch of play of the game. Dustin Wolf has to be brilliant. He makes a couple of really excellent saves, including another breakaway. He faced a lot of those. You know, it's kind of cliche to say, but at the end of a winning streak, you can sort of see things starting to slip a little bit. I don't want to prognosticate too much, but the Flames are getting pretty leaky as we move through this homestand. Even on 25 shots in the game, I'd say 10 or 12 ended up being at least relevant scoring chances, and 5 or 6 really great A chances. But despite that, they go into the third tied at 1. And not for very long, because 17 seconds in, Quentin Byfield again gets sprung on a breakaway and roofs it over Wolfie. and the Kings have a 2-1 lead. And then they proceed to go into their turtle shell, and they shouldn't have done that. Like, seriously, once the Kings took the lead in the third, they basically said, oh, we're gonna win, and stopped skating, and stopped forechecking, and just went completely into a shell. And the Flames, as they will, kept on working and kept on skating and built their game and got lots of chances on Kemper and eventually drew a couple of penalties. Ended up getting a 5-on-3 with over 7 minutes left. While the Kings are killing this 5-on-3, Drew Doughty makes an absolutely awful attempt to clear the puck. It doesn't get out. And then Zane Parekh, who seconds earlier had another wonderful chance to score and got stopped, gets another chance. The Flames toss it around like they know what they're doing on the 5-on-3. The puck's moving fast. And eventually it comes to the Zane train at the top of the slot, and he walks in and he snaps it with Frost screaming and he scores. And it's Zane Parekh's first goal of the season, unbelievably, and first home goal as a Flame to tie the game with just over 7 minutes to go. And you could just hear the crowd get louder after this goal. This really energized the building when Zane scored. Regardless of where you stand in the team tank debate, you have to love what you're getting from Zane Parekh, from Matvei Gridin, from Yan Kuznetsov, from Hunter Prstevich. This wasn't Hunter's best game, but all these rookies, Kuzi's missed a couple lately, but he's been super solid. The fact that these kids are the ones doing it should do something to counteract any frustration you have with the time in the season this winning streak is taking place. And so the Flames can't cash another one with their momentum, so we end up going to overtime, and overtime and the shootout were the most entertaining parts of this game. Overtime was back and forth and up and down. Dustin Wolf made a little bit of a scorpion save. Morgan Frost hit the post on a 2-on-1. There were breakaways for guys like Matvei Gridin who shot it over the net. This game probably should have ended in 65 minutes. Instead, we go to a shootout. And in the shootout, this is what we got. Trevor Moore in on Dustin Wolf. Nope. Morgan Frost then comes in and he does the move I hate it so much, but it works here. He goes in, puts the brakes on, almost stops, but not quite. He's still technically sliding forward. And he waits and he waits and he snaps it by Kemper. And you better score on this stupid move, otherwise you look silly. But Frosty puts it in. His stick's still hot lately. And then we get what would have been controversial, except the Flames won this game. Artemi Panarin comes in for the Kings. Comes in from the far side. Works his way over to the middle. Deeks stops, pulls the puck back. He starts going backwards. He is skating backwards. But the puck is moving laterally, I guess. Looking at the replay, it's pretty close, but I can see why you don't take another look at this one. He flips it Datsuk style over Dustin Wolf, who tries his best to make another Scorpion save and can't quite do it. Do I think it violates the spirit of the shootout rules? Probably. Is it technically allowed? Sure. And it ties the shootout. And Joel Farabee goes in and misses. And Adrian Kempe is stopped by Wolf. So, of all people, Matt Gritton with a chance to win it. Zigzagging in, comes into the slot, snaps it, and is stopped. And then, Brant Clark for the Kings comes in much more conventionally, changes the angle, has a little bit of room, glove side on Wolfie, but he shoots it wide. And then, the ultimate you just have to laugh moment. Yegor Sharangovich comes in, dekes to his forehand, and tries to pull it back to his backhand, fans on the backhand deke, and loses the puck, but Darcy Kemper's playing the deke, so his legs open up, and on a play where he loses the puck, Yegor Sharangovich scores to win the game for the Flames. And he can say all he wants that he meant to do it. You can see in the moment that was not the plan, because he's stifling a laugh all the way to the bench in the celebration hug. So, this was completely accidental. It wasn't an intentional Kucherov. But the accidental Kucherov works just fine and the Flames win. And again, I'll reiterate, you just have to laugh. Flames' first goal, scored by all three of the throw-in guys that you picked up at the deadline. Mata from Olofsson and Strome. Who had that on their bingo card? Let alone only Mata, of all people, having 6 points in 10 games. And then, not only is your power play working, but it's Parekh from Gritton and Coronado. If that is our future power play, sign me up. And then, finally, after a wild, wacky overtime, Yegor Sharangovich wins the game on an accidental Kucherov. Our draft position is not in danger. I will hold to that. But even if it was, if you're not having fun with what these guys are doing, you're watching these games wrong, I think. Let me know where you stand on all of this. Let me know how much you're liking watching the kids play. Let me know what your stress level is regarding our draft position. And do all the YouTube things. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers before the draft. And as always, go Flames.